My name is Domino Gilly. I am a student with Mid American Christian University. We were supposed to have a class week two of our program orientation, excuse me, because I forgot for a minute. And we're supposed to be addressing, I guess, a bunch of students that, if they had, how would we best explain? I believe it's academic plagiarism as well as pulpit plagiarism. And basically, academic plagiarism is taking someone else's work and calling it your own. And when you do that on a collegiate level or high school level or any educational level, so to speak, that's considered like an academic death. You may be given a warning from the beginning about this. You know, your instructor may say, pull you to the side and say something to you in the fact, or may state to you that you need to come and create your own work. And if you're going to cite someone's work or use someone else's work in what you're doing, you must cite it correctly. You must reference it correctly. You must give them credit where credit is due. They probably would give you another chance. And if you did it a second time, that I think is an academic type of death, type of suicide, where you could be expelled or kicked out, which is expulsion, and things of that nature. But I kind of take things a little differently when it comes to a pulpit plagiarism. Recently, my father-in-law passed away, and he's a pastor at Providence Baptist Church in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And for over 30 years, he was a pastor. And he taught me quite a bit. One of the things he said to me about plagiarism is that a lot of pastors this day and age run out of material, so to speak. They cannot come up with ideas because they pastored and preached for so long. They have a tendency of stealing from other pastors or other sources and claiming these sources as their own. And one of the things that he told me that I found interesting and intriguing was quoting the Bible. When you cite it, you'll say Matthew, or you would say in the book of Job, or you would say Paul wrote this. And then he said, even though they wrote it, they are not rather the true authors of the word that was given, the word that they were presenting. So therefore, plagiarism started a long time ago, and I believe that what my father-in-law was trying to say to me in so many words, that no matter who the pastor may be and no matter what time or what may actually come from speaking in the pulpit, there's going to come a time where you may inadvertently plagiarize. Is that right? No, it's not. But he said one thing that he did that made me really respect him was he could take a topic and he could actually sit down with that topic, that one topic, and write so many sermons on that one topic, not truly repeating what he said before from the sermon before, because the topic is new. So he could take the one topic, and he gives credit where credit is due. And when he always preached, he would say Paul in the book of Romans, inspired by God. And he would do these things to let you know that he's not taking them. Now, if you want to go back to certain things like certain writers, like Mr. Buford, for example, with the book, The Halftime, the little part that we saw. If you took from his word without citing him correctly, I think that plagiarism in itself is a type of a death that you cause to your own character. And excuse me for using such harsh words and such permanent words as hate and death, but it's kind of hard to describe for myself. But if you could not be an original at something, continue to work hard at it, continue to research, continue to give the proper respect to the people that had come up with all of this work. In order to claim something from you for your own and say it is of your own, you must do the research, but you still have to cite the material in which you got the research from. So truly, if you look at plagiarism, in my own honest opinion, every day we plagiarize something inadvertently or on purpose. So when it comes to the pulpit, you need to be careful. Make sure you cite the sources and give credit where credit's due. People may say that that's not important to give credit where credit's due when it comes to that, and they're incorrect, in my opinion. As academic death is acquired if you academically plagiarize someone else's work and claim it as your own, when you're in the pulpit, you cannot claim the work of God as your own. And you cannot claim a sermon that somebody else has done as your own. You can base your sermon off of a sermon someone else has done, but as long as you give them the correct citations, I would see nothing wrong with it. But you must give people the chance to go and discover this resource on their own so they can do their own research. See, one of the things I like to tell people is if I'm pastoring to you, I would take two, no more than three verses and break those verses down and explain to you as best I can in layman's terms, no matter who is where and doing what. At that same time, I also challenge these people. Do not just take my word for it. Take what I've given you, go home and study this and ask God to show you. I'm not going to take credit from my Father which is in heaven. Just like I cannot take credit for his work, I will not claim his glory, nor his mercy, nor his grace. I shall forever give everything I do to him. I will never claim that it is mine. And I will never allow anyone to think that it is mine. So I hope I didn't confuse you. I can write better than I can talk. And it's been about 6 minutes and 56 seconds, so I will turn this off. Thank you. I hope this is okay.